You think you're the only one that doesn't want to work for anybody else? Well, we got a show for you. Hey, welcome back to the streets. Today I have a host, my lovely wife, Soprano Life, aka Brittany. We were talking about
Hey,
working for yourselves. My bad. She was about to say hi.
yeah, just saying hi to everybody.
That
It's
shit
okay.
happens at home too. And real quick, we don't do stuff pre-planned like the professionals do. This is off the cuff. Maybe in a few years from now, when we get better at this, we'll do that and we'll have a team and everything. But for now, it's like you and us having a conversation. Where was I at?
Honestly, I think it's better that way.
It's pretty much off the cuff, but we do have things that we're concerned about in our lives, as you are as well. And I was speaking about working for myself, not working for somebody else. Um, and I do remember my last response to a person that wanted me to work for them, and by person I mean the government, was "F you, I'm not working for you no more."
Literally,
Literally,
literally.
I'm not kidding you. I was done. However, I don't want to give my side of the story. I want to hear your guys' side of the story. Did you leave your 9 to 5? Did you work for yourself? Did it work out for you? What were your struggles? And I'm sure there's a few of you out there that are thinking about leaving your 9 to 5, or you've had enough, or there's something inside you that says there's more to this, you know? Let me know if this is you. Put it in the comments. Say this is me. Hey, I'll bring you up and you talk to me about your side, about your perspective of it, where you're coming from, and how it affected you and what you did about it. The goal is the transformation of what happened, what did you find that worked, and how did it work out for you? Okay. That's the best thing. Today, I'll let my wife or share her part of why she's working from home, why we're working from home, and we'll go from there. I think she has her own FU story, as many of you, myself included, have. Um, but it takes work, people. It does take work, more so than just going to a job and having something monotonous where you're just doing the same old shit all over and over. It does take work. It takes creativity. It takes responsibility, and it takes planning and investing. Nevertheless, floor is yours.
All right. So well, when he and I first met, I was nannying. I was taking care of two little boys. I had nannied throughout college, and um, I felt comfortable doing that. They ended up moving to Texas, so it was a good time to kind of switch things around. And I actually got to go start teaching voice, which is what I went to school for. I went to school for opera music, and I got the opportunity to start teaching voice. And that was, I believe, like August 2019. So when the pandemic hit, they switched us to working virtually and teaching all lessons online. And I got that taste of I don't have to go anywhere. I can do, what I want. I can kind of make my own hours because they didn't really police us with what hours we had to work. So I was able to schedule my lessons when I wanted to. Well, come 2021, they said, "Hey, we're going to come back to the studio." Well, at that point, we were getting ready to move to another town, and I'm like, I can't come back to the studio.
It's
I
like
can't do
over an
that.
hour away, two people. Hour of fucking way, man. It was far. Like it's that
From our
for that
old
pay
house,
too.
I think it was like 40 minutes, but from here it would be impossible to get to. Um, so I was like, look, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I'm not gonna be able to work for you guys if I can't stay virtual. I did give them the opportunity to say, hey, you can keep your virtual lessons going. It's working well with your students, but they wanted to be in person. So I left there and I found a place where I could make my own lessons, my own schedule, get my own students, and I started teaching for myself online. And I was able to keep my virtual students and keep doing what I was doing along with having the family life and also being able to do my photography business, which is not technically work from home because I have to go out and take the photos, but it allowed me more time to do that. Set my own schedule, nobody policing me, nobody telling me what I had to do and didn't have to do. And that's what I've been doing ever since. You know, it's been great because if something happens and, I'm not able to teach, I send my students a message, "Hey, this is going on. Let me reschedule your lesson." And worse from there, I don't have to go through somebody else to say, "Hey, I can't teach today. Can you call the students?" and blah blah blah. So it's been great to actually do what I want, when I want, and how I want. And that's the great part of owning your own business and, working for yourself.
Oh, so, my wife is very fucking long-winded, run on sentence like a motherfucker. I mean, I have that same issue as well. But if you didn't catch what
Yes.
she just said, that was a mouthful. And if you guys are going through the same stuff that she's going through, you got to understand that even though it was a lot what she said, you're talking about over 2 years span of what she's talking about right now. Now, when I saw from her was somebody trying to kind of work for herself already, didn't know where she was at. And this is when I met her. And I'm a motivator, right? I have to motivate myself. Um, I've been through relationships that have not worked. I've had people push me and motivate me to be a better version of myself. And that stuck. That really stuck with me to help other people the same way I help other people already. It's just I wanted to help them and build them up. And she's one of the first few people that I was doing that with. And to see her do what she said right now, that's not like a 2 year process that she was working through. And I know that you guys had been through the pandemic, whatever you want to call it. And everybody had to stay home. Almost everybody had to stay home. And I think that changed the world in so many ways. The world as we know it is not the same from before that time. It is not the same. In fact, it seems a little bit more sketchy. Um, but it also seems like a great time to invest. Seems like a great time to start pushing forward to work from home. Let me ask you something really quick, Brittany. I know that, and the audience doesn't know that you've, like many other people, tried many ventures, many things. That you did the life insurance with me. You did, I think we did some e-commerce. We've done affiliate marketing. You do professional photos. You do singing. She's also a singer. She was also singing in a group. And by singing, I mean performing. So I might screw that up, but she's performing. She's a professional opera singer. She is performing with the group, teaching music. I wanted to know what was your niche, like what were you passionate? What were you like? I kind of want to do this, and I'm gonna work on this one thing I'm gonna work on, or maybe it was two things. What were those things? Why were they the things that you wanted to do? And what happened? Like what was the transformation? What was the end game 2 years later after that? Because we're talking about 2021. We're now in 2023.
Right.
Let us all know, walk us through uh what was it? Like what was that one thing or two or maybe it was you. Maybe it was something inside you that clicked. Um what was that one thing or two things maybe inside of you or something that you saw that you wanted to do? What was it that got you going? Like, I can keep doing this. And what what was your breakthrough to build up your business? Because you got a couple businesses going. What was it inside you, or what did somebody say something? Did somebody do something for you? Did it click in your mind? It was just self-awareness. Like, what was it that got you to I need to figure out my life? I need to figure out if I'm going to be nannying or I'm going to put this degree to use. I'm going to figure out if I'm going to work for somebody else or I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to figure out, like, even a family, if I'm going to be single or I'm going to get married. What, take us through that process and add a few periods while you can.
Take your own advice, dear.
Hey, I'm the fucking
Uh,
host.
I hear plenty. So the I mean, I'm gonna start from the backwards. I always knew that I wanted a family. I always knew that I wanted to find somebody and settle down and, have that family life. Um, right before I met him, actually, the people I was nannying for, um, they were moving to Texas. And they gave me the opportunity to, hey, you want to move to Texas with us? And shortly after I met him, and, I was like, yeah, this isn't going to happen, which is ironic because now we're moving to Texas.
In the same
But
area that she was going to move
same day.
with and begin with. Now, I come from like the San Antonio area, South Texas, and I just can't do South Texas no more. It's extremely hot. Um, San Antonio's not that big, but I love San Antonio. Don't get me wrong, San Antonio is beautiful. Hill country is beautiful. West Austin, Lake Travis, that whole area, even San Marcos, New Braunfels, it's all beautiful. Fort Worth and Dallas, Arlington, um, it's an upgrade from Chicago, that's for sure. I'm not going West Coast or East Coast. They got their own problems. So the next best thing, and I think it's up and coming, is Dallas and the Fort Worth area. So hey, almost 4 5 years
And
later, and full circle, and we're headed out. Like we had in our last episode, or yeah, together. Why the fuck we're getting out of Illinois, and we're going to speak on where we're headed, why we're headed there. But now we're full circle to her story because that's where we're headed to.
so when I met him, things were all falling into place, and I knew I couldn't go with them. So that kind of, since they were leaving, obviously I wasn't going to nanny for them anymore, and it was a good, jumping off point to, hey, I don't think nannying and raising somebody else's kids is what I want to do.
She wanted to raise her own
I went to
kids.
right. I went to school for opera for singing, and there was no singing that was going to happen while I was nannying.
Hey, can I ask a question
So
and interject real quick? And I don't want to get off on a tangent. I know you're talking about your nannying, but for all you ladies out there in your 30s, don't have kids, and I'm only asking because I see my wife go through it. Is it something like where if you don't have a family by 30, like does that internal clock really mess with you guys? Does it really get to you guys where it makes you make different decisions than what you would have made if you were in your 20s? I don't know if you can answer that really quick, and then we'll get back to what you're saying. But I'm always I was always thinking about that. Like, does that really motivate your decisions? A lot more so to when you're in your 20s. I mean, it's like you're the cream of the crop. You can pick who you want usually. You have time. But when you're 30, does that internal clock really have like loud alarms in your brains? It's a respectful question too. It's nothing bad. I'm just asking out of curiosity.
it
Eh,
100% does.
okay. Eh,
100% does.
Yeah, I'm
Like
just
in my
asking.
early
Mm.
Yeah, well, in my early 20s, I didn't settle down. I dated, but I didn't like think, "Hey, I'm gonna marry this person." And, once I started getting late 20s, I'm like, "Okay, gotta start taking life seriously," you know? But going back to what we were talking about,
Nannying.
them leaving with an easy jumping off point to start doing, what I actually went to school for. So started teaching and stuff. And, um, it's like he said, I tried a lot of things, and these were kind of after I started working from home and, teaching during the pandemic and stuff. And none of those things that we tried felt right to me. When I was doing life insurance, I felt like I was still working for somebody. I felt like I was chasing down people, having to like push, and like it didn't feel like I didn't feel passionate about it. And it sucks because that's what we agreed on to work through, and to, I would get it started while he was still working for the government, and, you know, then he'd jump in. But when you don't feel passion for something, it's hard to really push with that.
And the insurance industry, if you ever hear this, Matt, I only share this because I only seen one person do it in my life that I paid attention to. Matt Zapala. Um, money smart guy. Um, I see him with Patrick Bet-David, who I really, really I love that guy. That guy's freaking awesome.
Watching him all the time.
I watch him all the time. I watch Matt as well. Um, I seen Matt start his own business with life insurance. And I met him because I took a picture at a convention one time. He reached out to me. One of the greatest top 5 people I've ever known in my life. Okay. I've seen him not in his area, but I've seen him from afar open up a business, get married, establish his family, establish his future, and then establish others and establish others while he was doing that. Now, it was the biggest eye opener I ever had in my life. And I had to question myself of what am I passionate about that much that I can make that much of an effect in this world. And his is life insurance. And he's doing very, very well. He lives in the Dallas area too. But he was over here in this area, and I'll always see him as that top 5 people that I respect in my life that has changed my life. And I wish him the best in his life. But insurance is one of those. If you have the passion, the drive to help people in that sector, in that place, it's a great place to work. It's a great place to hustle. If you're not familiar with it, or it's just not you, or it's not your part in life, then you might still have the bug to go help others. It's just probably not the place to do it. But if you do have it, I mean, not name dropping, but that was one person, his whole crew, legit. Okay. So, you were saying about what you were passionate about. Take us in about what you actually decided. We got a few minutes to go. I said we got about 5 minutes. Run us down what you decided, why you decided it, and where are you at now?
So given that I obviously went to school, spent so many years pursuing music, it's always been what I feel like home with. I went into teaching and I absolutely love teaching. And now spawning off of that, I get to do performances online and through the streaming and stuff that we do, which is fulfilling that other part of me. And then not only that, the two of us have found, um, something that we can do together as well that we're both passionate about here. We're both, it's fulfilling for both of us. That, like I said, the life insurance was supposed to be something that we both did, but if one person's not in it and not, you know, can't find that drive to really do it, it feels like just another 9 to 5. And that's what it was feeling like for me. So all in all, it's finding that passion and that want where you actually want to, I want to do this. I feel like I have to do this. Um and this part of our journey, the podcasting, I was like, I don't know, because I don't know if anybody wants to listen to what I have to say, but okay.
People, I was gonna do this shit with or without her. I'm at that point where I know what I really, really want to do. I've done insurance, I've done real estate, and I still do like that one real estate, but this I love. Thank you, PBD podcast, because you really pushed me in just let's share and let's share according to facts. But what is it that you actually chose for yourself?
um Teaching, performing, photography. They're all things that fulfill me, plus being able to do this all while having a family, which is incredibly important. Because to think about the things that like we have a 9-month-old, right? To think of the things that I wouldn't have been able to see if I was working like a regular 9 to 5 job is crazy,
So, as you can see, folks, there are hurdles. There are financial hurdles. There are things that you'll have your ups and downs. But I think to take away, and we'll end it on this note, and we'll continue to talk about this. We'll do a part 3 about this. Mm. I think the most important thing to take away from this was what was more important to us, and it was our family. I've never spent this much time with any of my kids as I have with my son. And I wish I could have spent more time with my daughters. I know they're teenagers. I love them and I think about them all the time. I know we have our weird relationships, where we're, just dad,
If I
daughter, and they're already grown up to be they're already teenagers. You know how they are. But I still love them. I still let them know, hey, we respect each other. Still love each other, still gotta do what we gotta do in life. Still gotta do our part, make the effort. But I love them, just like I love my son. And I got to spend this time with my son. And I look back, I'm like, I wish I would have spent more time. And it's hard because some of you, if you spend more time with your kids, you have less time to make money and you can't build that future up. Especially for those of you that are in a 9 to 5 that are making less than $100,000 a year. Your number one issue as a family is spending time with each other as a family. Because the one commodity we do not have to replace in this world is time. And that is the truth, my friend. So if this is you and you want to know, hey, or you want to share, this is what I need to say to you. If you want to know, you want to share what you feel about or what your obstacles are concerning leaving your 9 to 5, send me a message. We'll share more about what we went through, how we overcame. And if you want our help, no matter when when no matter when we do this when we did, okay. And if you need our help, send a message. No matter when this podcast was, it's actually um, Christmas Eve in 2023. Just send a message. There's always someone to help out. It's like the universe, whatever it is taking care of us. It's all a mindset, your mindset. When you decide, I need to do this for myself. I need to work for myself, and I have more reasons, and I have you know less time to do it now. Holler at us, talk to us, talk to a friend, talk to somebody. Either way, take care of yourselves. We'll see you on the next one.